loses control of all her minions.
Yeah.
So that can be a pretty big swing if Patrick can pull off that play.
So that's something I've seen a lot with Olivia players. They will, ping something once, maybe steal it, and then they'll just leave it at that. And people watching will be like, "Oh, why didn't you just go for the kill?" And they'll just go Silesia Charm.
Right. So it's like there's these both decks, 4 Huntmasters, 4 Thragtusks. We're going to see a lot of that back and forth.
Yeah, but I think you're right. Clark here, at least in game 1, has enough different threats. He's also got a Planeswalker suite. He's got 3 Liliana of the Veil and 2 Garruk Primal Hunter, so Planeswalkers can be very good in the right circumstances.
Liliana is really interesting in that the card is a 4 of in Modern, so clearly powerful, but sees almost no play in Standard right now. And Thragtusk, I would say, is one of the biggest reasons for that. Typically, it would be good. Liliana should be fantastic against a mid-range deck. Against aggro, it's not great because you're like, oh, yeah, they'll sack this Gravecrawler. But, against a mid-range deck where their first play is a Luxodon Smiter, you just think, wow, Liliana's great there. But the mid-range cards we're seeing play right now, Huntmaster, Thragtusk, Restoration Angel, are fairly weak to or fairly strong against a Liliana.
Yeah, it's... like you said, Liliana of the Veil, great in Modern, sees some Legacy play, not good in Standard here. You really have to have the right deck around Liliana because her abilities, the discard ability, you want to be able to take advantage of that. Clark doesn't really have much to take advantage of it per se, but she's still a good card, no doubt.
Right.
Garruk Primal Hunter will probably be more influential in this matchup. The ability to continuously spit out beasts and trade them off is going to be good.
So Clark Williamson, the number 6 seed, he's going to be able to choose the play here. A little bit of a side story. Patrick Shifflett in the last round took a very aggressive intentional draw, and we talked with him, his opponent, after the match. His opponent was Danny Goldstein, who he was going to play in the top 4. They were both very worried that they had accidentally drawn Patrick out of top 8, and they needed a pair of matches to go their way to get Patrick into top 8. It turned out that both those matches did fall that way, and Patrick made it here, and now we're seeing him in the finals. So,
and he snuck in as the 8th seed, so he's been on the draw throughout the top 8, and yet he
hasn't dropped a game.
Yeah. So his deck is really doing a lot of work here.
Clark Williamson's on 6 cards right now. Patrick, it appears, has kept a hand of an interesting one. It has a double Bonfire hand without red. So despite being on 6, I think Patrick has kept an extraordinarily weak hand in this matchup. Bonfire non-miracled is a pretty big blank against Clark.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get to 5 mana before it even starts to do anything. There we see next to Patrick is our head judge of the Standard Open, Eric Smith. He's a level 3 from New York. I want to give some love out to the judges. Really thank Eric for running a great tournament yesterday with 661 to 3 players. Not quite sure what the final number was.
A lot.
Yeah, a lot. And here we start out. Clark Williamson goes turn 1 Rootbound Crag, turn 2 Cemetery. Patrick Shifflett's got a old school Temple Garden, it looks like, and a forest. And Clark is going to go turn 3 Farseek into Blood Crypt.
Right, so yeah, Farseek in both these players' decks. It's probably a little more important out of Clark's deck because he doesn't have Avacyn's Pilgrim. That's going to be an even, when it's more important, it's more necessary for him to hit one.
In general, yes, but if Patrick's got 2 bonfires in his hand, he just needs to get a lot of mana out.
Right.
So he'll start the aggression with a turn 3 Loxodon Smiter.
Is that 2 bonfires? Sorry, it may be a Bonfire Thundermaw. That's not any better, really, but...
Still a 5-drop.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to need some help in being able to cast it on curve. And we see Clark actually with his own Thundermaw Hellkite. I think we're going to see Abrupt Decay or Dreadbore. This is probably about the best thing Clark can Abrupt Decay.
Plays his Blood Crypt tapped.
Now, this is, I think, a mistake on Clark's part. He's forgetting that Patrick plays Restoration Angel.
Yeah.
and this is gonna really hurt him.
Does he have it?
And he does have it. That's
Yeah. Just because it's an instant doesn't mean you wait
doesn't
till
mean
the
you
last
have
minute.
to do it. There's no if you're already committed to that play, yeah, and that's a game changer right there.
It fogs the attack, but leaves a 4/4 on the battlefield.
So Clark now facing down a fairly sizable army. He could have, yeah. Spiner's still in the battlefield. He has an ultimate price and a Pillar Flame. His only creature appears to be Thundermaw Hellkite, which, while strong, is not a great racer right now.
He's got a Huntmaster of the Fells too, but the best I can hope to do.
Now, Cavern of Souls by Shifflett has been set to Dragon. He's hoping to draw the second red to Hellkite his opponent.
Alright, so Clark gets his Thundermaw Hellkite down first, and also gets the first points of damage in, taking Patrick to 15.
And with Patrick's the harder hitter right now. He didn't draw any more lands. Huntmaster drawn by Clark Williamson. If Patrick Clark may be okay here. You know, obviously first plays didn't start out how he wanted them to. And I think with an attack here, we may see Patrick get blown out. He may try to go for block and Celestia. Just go for Celestia Charm.
Alright. So Clark's going to follow up with a Huntmaster of the Fells.
If Patrick draws a mountain or a run-tapped red sorcerer, and he's going to be able to cast Bonfire on 2.
Or a Thundermaw Hellkite.
Yeah, he'll have. I mean, I think his whole hand will be. And he drew Bonfire, unable to Miraculate. His hand now: a pair of Thrag Tusks, a pair of Bonfires, a Thundermaw Hellkite. He is
full house of 5-drops.
Yeah. Clark has no. Clark with one card in hand, and that card is a Pillar of Flame. If Patrick hits this land, a world of threats will be unleashed on Clark's side of the board.
So Clark, ultimate price is the Restoration Angel.
And second Smiter for Shifflett. The interesting thing is Clark can't actually beat through the board as it stands. He has drawn, appears to be another land. With Clark unable to push damage, I think it's only a matter of time until Patrick draws the 5th land here.
Yeah, the best Clark can do here is say go flip to Ravager of the Fells, but that's only going to trade with a Smiter. It does get 2 damage in off the trigger.
Mm-hmm. Clark's got to be hoping for something like Sever the Bloodline here. It would be, I think, probably be his ideal draw.
Patrick gets the land, but it is not a red source. But Thrag Tusks are now live.
Yeah, I don't think Patrick's, despite the fact that he has all these red cards in hand, I don't think he's going to need a red mana to win the game. I think the pair of Thrag Tusks, which he has, it will probably just be enough on their own to carry the day.
So Patrick just attacks with one of his Smiters there.
It's a very conservative play, and one, you know, it probably too conservative, but
especially when he's going to follow up with a Thrag Tusk.
Right, you know, he's protecting his own life. I'm not really
They've
sure
seen each other's deck list. We know that there's no Zealous Conscripts here out of Clark's deck.
Yeah, the reason you'd want to be more aggressive here as opposed to making the conservative play is with this amount, the amount of mana your opponent has in play, you have to be worried that he might draw Olivia Voldaren at any point, and an Olivia on this board would be a terrifying draw. Patrick can't beat it, really. So pushing extra damage will be rewarded.
Pushing extra damage, getting things off the board.
Right.
Attacking with both Smiters there probably would have forced Clark to trade the Ravager for one of them.
Now that Patrick's drawn Celestia Charm, so now that I think the Olivia is not even that scary of an out. Patrick in command here, and he'll get the first game.
Yeah, now he attacks with everything. Clark is going to be forced to make some bad blocks here. Chumping with his Wolf token, trading a Smiter and a Ravager. 4 damage gets through.
And another Thrag Tusk. So
yep.
just the most efficient things from Patrick's side.
Yeah, not even a Bonfire miracle here. It's going to save Clark. There it is.
Game
They
one
pack
goes
it
to
in.
Patrick Shifflett. All right.
So we saw there Patrick, despite being stuck on 4 lands, not having his colors, not having access to the red mana for bonfires, was still able to take game 1.
All right. So we're going to pause from our final for a second. So it's time for our big prize, which is a year of Star City Premium. Remember, this is so you have to tweet the answer to a question at hashtag SCG Premium. For those of you watching, this only works for the live coverage. If you're currently watching us on the rebroadcast, which will say in a red frame around the window, we really thank you for watching, but the prize has already been given away. But if you're watching right now, then yeah, please.
All right. Live Sunday morning.
Sunday morning. Thanks for waking up with us. So the thing I want to ask, sometimes I like to ask, trivia questions kind of about the set. I like set design and that sort of thing.
Sure.
We just saw, we made the count a couple times this weekend, that I said, the citizens of Ravnica sure hate having their spells countered. And we saw that, like Luxodon Smiter, for example, Clark Williamson playing Abrupt Decay.
Okay.
We saw Supreme Verdict in Aliana Trazi's deck. Each guild has something that can't be countered.
Sure.
So I named, I named the Golgari card,
Yep.
the Azorius card. The Izzet card is an uncounterable counter spell.
Okay.
But I'm going to ask, what is the last card? So we're looking for the what Rakdos card from Return to Ravnica cannot be countered.
Okay, so that is the trivia question. Once again, hashtag SCG Premium, as you see there on the bottom of your screen. The question is, which
Rakdos card from Return to Ravnica cannot be countered?
There you go.
All right. So, bringing you back into this match, Patrick Shifflett currently up a game. We've seen him just kind of running the tables on camera this morning. Against a pair of matchups, both of which we kind of thought he was on the wrong side of.
I did. I honestly did. I thought that Clark Williamson here had a good amount of removal, and he has those Olivia Voldarens, which can really take over the game. But he didn't see enough of them.
Right. Well, he only plays 2. He doesn't have any extras on the board. I think the danger for Clark Williamson here is that his deck has, it has better high-end. The good cards are better, and the bad cards are worse. He's playing, for example, 2 Deathrite Shamans.
Yeah, that doesn't really do much here.
Yeah.
I mean, he's gonna bring in more of the big spells, right?
Yes.
He's got another bonfire he can bring in.
So we have another bonfire.
Actually, he doesn't have much of the big game.
Right.
Looks like a lot of his sideboard is designed to control the earlier game.
Yeah, so other things he has available, he has, Blasphemous Act, not too much. He could use Appetite for Brains. He has to, I think he wants Appetite for Brains for the reason that if you look, let's look at Patrick Shifflett's sideboarding first. I think I would want to see, for example, Garruk Primal Hunter sided in
Patrick can go big.
Right.
He could go really big here.
Big. And I think when I'm Clark, I would say I believe as a Jund player that Patrick will go big.
Right.
And as a result, I would board in the Appetite for Brains.
Yeah, Angel of Serenity, Zealous Conscripts. So you're saying that Clark Williamson, not necessarily going to sideboard based on what he saw.
Don't sideboard against the main deck, sideboard against the 75.
Based on what he thinks Patrick is going to do in game 2.
Yeah, so, a kind of a next level thing there. But yeah, based on what I believe Patrick will do, I think Appetite for Brains is a good board card here.
And Patrick's he's very animated here. I always want to know what players are talking about during sideboard games. Some players are notoriously quiet. They just go about their business. And Clark looks like he's one of those guys who's just kind of listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But Patrick's been talking this whole time.
Yeah.
Seems like a fun guy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of the really fun things when you play a lot of competitive Magic. You get to see this really wide variety of personalities, when people of different play styles.
Are you a talker at the table?
Yes.
I'm asking, are you a commentator? Are you a talker?
People who have asked me, who've watched my feature matches, I actually voice my internal monologue a lot of the times when I play, which is, I think sometimes people
can be dangerous.
Well, some people it's unsettling. It's like, I'm kind of telling them my whole train of thought. And people are like, wait, is he just telling me what he's thinking? That's really weird. And I mean, the one thing I'll tell people is like, well, if there's something I really don't want you to know, I probably won't say it out loud, or I might just tell you something that's not true out loud. But yeah.
Oh, misdirection.
Well, somewhat, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Game 2 of the finals of Star City Games Baltimore. Clark Williamson starts off with a Blood Crypt tap. Patrick Shifflett's got a Forest.
And I really like Clark's hand. So what Clark has kept is Dreadbore, Ultimate Price, Olivia lands.
Oh,
And
Olivia.
it's removal,
Voldaren.
removal finisher. And when I say that, I think Jund against Naya. That's exactly that's the hand I'm talking about.
Clark Farseeks into a Blood Crypt. And Patrick possibly had a Thundermaw Hellkite there. There's a Restoration Angel. He's going to say go on turn 2, so no Farseek for Patrick.
He does not appear to have a third land, does he? He has
it doesn't look like
fistful of spells. No.
Yeah, that's a bonfire.
Okay, well, we'll get to see
Well, now
it.
we'll see.
All
As
right.
you said, Clark bringing in the
And
appetite for brains.
Okay. Angel, Dragon, Huntmaster, Smiter, Thragtusk, Bonfire. So, funny enough, Patrick Shifflett's hand has no less than 23 points of power in it. So, just
That's a lot of power.
that's a lot.
But now Clark Williamson, no fourth land.
Nope. And Shifflett, I don't believe he has to discard here because he's been.
We've already passed a turn. He had a turn where after the appetite he drew a Restoration Angel, so now he's discarding.
Oh, okay. Oh, so both players have just
Yeah,
drawn
we're
and go.
just-
we're going
We're
very
in
quickly.
full-on cripple fight mode here. Patrick Shifflett draws a third land, but it's not a white source, so we
still
know he's
can't
got
play
those
Snyder.
spiders.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I don't like the keep at all by Patrick Shifflett. I think he's being forgiven for his keep right now. Clark Williamson's deck is not taking advantage of this, but
Yeah, both players discarding.
ultimate price now down for Clark Williamson, and it looks like Patrick's gonna draw out of it first.
Oh wow.
And I think, yeah, Patrick's deck really just forgave him for what I think was probably a loose keep.
Yeah, so he kept a 2-lander with no white source, so
If
the
there's a-
Smiters were not even live as
if
we
there's
saw.
a white source, that hand is I think a little more okay on the keep. But yeah, that was pretty. I mean, that was gambling to keep it.
But now he's in the driver's seat. He's got a Huntmaster down.
to a point. The fourth land now hit by Clark Williamson. He's going to play his own Huntmaster. Remember that
Oh.
second Huntmaster does not. I don't know. I think at that point I don't want to play the Huntmaster. I want to wait and bonfire for 2 and then hunt. But Clark needs to do something. He can't let Patrick's Huntmaster flip.
Yeah, he can't let it flip, but also this. He's got a Dreadbore in his hand.
Yeah, I think I
He
just
could've-
Dreadbore the Huntmaster instead.
Because here he's losing his own Huntmaster.
Right. So Patrick Shifflett passes the turn there. Thragtusk drawn by Clark Williamson. Yeah, we'll probably see Dreadbore happen now.
Yeah, so he's going to have to Dreadbore the Ravager of the Fells now anyway. Would have been a lot better if he did it in another order.
Yeah, he did lose his Huntmaster as a result. He could have Dreadbored it, and then this turn he would be able to cast Huntmaster.
If they're talking about life totals, they're confirming that they both gain 2 life off of Huntmaster.
So the big thing is still, as we call here, there's
And
no
there it is.
and granted because there's not very many lands here, I'd say Olivia Voldaren still right now looks like it's going to be the trump of the game. Now there's Clark has cards better. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and Dreadbore the token too. That's a little aggressive for my taste. But I mean, the reason you might do that is because if Clark draws a 5th land, he's not going to have time to play that Dreadbore for the rest of the game. You know,
Yeah, it's a consideration for
Yeah.
tempo.
So
And
Angel's
Patrick's
Serenity
still-
discarded. Yeah, whoever hits their 5th land first is gonna be doing pretty well. And Clark hits for 2. I think he's gonna play out Olivia here. And he does not cast Olivia. I'm not sure.
That's surprising. What?
He might be worried about Miracle Bonfire at it. And a
I-
Garrick discard for Shifflett. This is.
I don't think it's ever worth playing
right.
around a miracle.
And Clark hits land 5 first. It's huge. I think it's Garruk Primal Hunter. Okay, you know, he wants more damage. It's going to be Thundermaw. Okay.
He just wants to end this.
Sure. Both plays very strong. 5th land into play for Shifflett, so 1 turn later he needs to kind of break back. He's at a pretty low life total already, and then let the Thragtusk Wars will commence.
But so by playing the Thundermaw, he's kind of semi-blanking the Thragtusk on the ground. He can just continue to swing for 5 in the air.
Yeah, Patrick's gonna Resto Angel the Thragtusk next turn, so that will be pretty good. The cards that are really... The problem is that Shifflett's hand actually isn't as live as I'd like it to be. You know, Clark's hand was awkward, but as soon as he hit the 5th land, his hand is just, you know, mono awesome cards. Patrick's hand is a handful of Smiters, which isn't, you know, Smiters on turn 5, not nearly as cool as what Williamson's going to be doing. Pillar goes to the face.
Right, that's... So 2 damage to the face. That's potentially going to make the air squad lethal next turn.
Yeah, Shifflett leaving up Restoration Angel, which we will see here. And another 2 Thragtusks and 2 Garruks. 3 Thragtusks and a Garruk in hand for Clark. A lot of 5. Yeah, 3 triple Thragtusk Garruk.
So Clark thinking here, probably wondering how he's going to play around the Restoration Angel that Patrick is representing.
Well, he can play around it fairly easily, and I would, if he just attacks first, because he could shoot Avacyn's Pilgrim if Angel comes down, and then Olivia will get to eat the Restoration Angel.
Right, so he was thinking about possibly playing a Thragtusk or something else there, and decides to attack first, as you said.
Makes the correct play.
Yeah. You want to see what's up.
I mean, the Angel's there, but it's not good enough for Shifflett, really.
So Restoration Angel, trigger, targets Thragtusk. Gonna go to
my favorite part about that play, yeah, for 4 mana at instant speed, you get 5 life and a 6
and
power.
a beast.
I think it's that Patrick can't make the block. So he drops to 5 anyway. Or sorry, to 6. Because he didn't most Olivia wasn't pumped.
Yeah, because Olivia can just pump herself, the 3/4 not willing to block there.
So in Clark's situation, I think I like Garruk here. He's gonna... I don't really like shooting right now. I think we have better things to do. He's gonna ping Thragtusk before... Oh, this is before damage, gonna make Olivia larger. So he's gonna...
Oh, so there was a block.
Oh, there was a block. Wait, okay, Restoration Angel did block Olivia. That's... I mean, yes, then this is definitely the correct play. And Bonfire at 1 is going to take care of Avacyn's Pilgrim. And that's a heads-up play.
Yeah, given how choked they've been on mana this game, taking away another mana and getting the damage in as well.
The Bonfire's never going to be cast again, so Shifflett dropped Shifflett's at 8.
They both have so much action in their hands. Patrick Shifflett now facing down a lot of power in the air.
So Thundermaw Hellkite by Patrick Shifflett, but it's going to be on blocking duty. This is a tough board for Patrick to win from. Remember, Patrick can ultimate price that should be lethal. If the board wasn't already very close to lethal on its own.
Just going to take some time to think about it. This is the finals.
Don't want to screw up. Your opponent could have Faith's Shield. No, it's ultimate price in that.
There
All right,
it is.
Game 3.
And I think that's a very important thing. A lot of players get caught up in the pace of the game, and they just go through plays. And then, we've seen people miss damage from Kessig Wolf runs.
We saw Ali Antrazi miss an onboard kill.
When you're going for lethal, or you think you might potentially have lethal, take a little extra moment to think about it. Take a little moment to do some calculations. Think about what your opponent could have.
Right. You know what I mean? And I always like to say, okay, clearly he's seeing Patrick's 75. So like I said, like, well, you have to play around the Faith's Shield here. Like, all right, okay, that's probably being a little silly, but not as silly as you may think.
Yeah, I mean,
like how
Celestia Charm could be a thing,
Right.
and you just make sure he doesn't have the mana for that.
for a red-white mana, what other cards like are relevant in the format could be seeing play in that, in that slot? Like, all right, Swift Justice. I don't know. Sometimes just exercise yourself. Like list like what are the probable cards this mana cost? Nothing. Nothing's the answer. But what are the improbable cards this mana cost? Like I think Faith Shield falls in that category. What are the stupid but I suppose in the format cards at this mana cost? Like that's where Swift Justice falls.
Right, and that's in limited. That's something you do a lot more of. You're like, what do I lose to here? And you're like,
Right.
I could lose to downsize.
Yeah. Can I play around downsize? No. That's awkward. Or something, like I guess another one, Electrickery is at that mana cost.
Yeah.
Like it's only non-overloaded. That's another one of the stupid ones. But why? And you think to yourself, okay, that's a card, but he probably didn't board it in against me. I'm not playing Lingering Souls. And even if I were, probably isn't that good of a card. Things like that.
So Patrick Shifflett loses his first game in the top 8 here. We're
Yeah, so-
tied 1-1. Going to game 3. This is it. This is for the trophy.
Yeah,
This is for the championship.
Both players were undefeated going into this top 8. I mean, not going into it. They're undefeated in the top 8.
Draw your opening 7. Patrick takes a look. He likes it.
And yeah,
Is he missing the white mana again, though? Yeah.
he is missing a white mana again. Last game I thought Patrick kind of beat himself before the game started. I think the game played out closer than it really was. I thought his keep was, just very greedy. So he needs this white land, and there you go. He gets it, and now his hand is going to be fine.
Had it.
Had the that's one of the things, if you're Clark, don't watch the coverage. He didn't have the white and he kept it.
Well, he didn't hide it very. He drew it, and then
Yeah.
it was at the edge of his hand. So
I think what's not realized is how much better that made Shifflett's hand. Now he's gonna have Smiter, Thragtusk, Angel. His hand is great.
Clark goes with a turn 2 Farseek, getting all his colors together. There's the Smiter. This might be a problem for Clark. Yeah, I went there.
All right.
But he
Clark-
Farseek, so
I think he's deciding between another Huntmaster or Farseek Dreadbore, and I think he's going to pick Farseek Dreadbore, which is correct. He's learned his lesson from game 1 of, this guy plays Restoration Angels. Maybe I should kill it while it's tapped out.
yeah, that was a mistake we saw. Going for the instant speed Abrupt Decay and playing right into a Restoration Angel. And this really sets him up to continue to play all of his spells. He's ramping up. We haven't seen Bonfire be that relevant yet, but this game I think is going to be a little slower, and we might see Bonfire be the big finisher.
Yeah, well, this game's going to come down to who can hit harder. Both players are at 20. Patrick's windup is a Thragtusk, an Angel, and a Garruk Primal Hunter, which is pretty big. Can Clark go bigger?
Well, we saw Patrick. He had the Angel of Serenity that he had to discard early on in game
so
2.
He certainly is fine with having large creatures. And
Thragtusk.
Thragtusk down for Clark Williamson. And really, I think the general power level of Patrick's threats is much higher.
Thragtusk.
It does matter in that Clark has a couple cards that are very hard to beat, like Olivia. But until Clark draws those very relevant cards, Patrick's probably the favorite.
I really like that the Beast is a 3/3 and Thragtusk is a 5/3, because it means that, even if Clark Dreadbores here, the Beast is still able to trade with Thragtusk.
Right.
So there's
Thragtusk
a good
wars are
balance
They're
to it.
very hard to break. They just usually involve lots of trading.
Organizing his mana and his thoughts.
well, the only single mana spell he has is Pillar of Flame. That card doesn't make much sense to use right here. You can cast Huntmaster of the Fells. Clark's not really going to be able to break through what Patrick's doing.
No, but I like this.
Yeah. I think the card that's going to be scary is Garruk Primal Hunter. Patrick's going to be able to play it as a draw 5. Apparently, and I will tell you what, I'm surprised by the trade there. Because Patrick has a Restoration Angel and a Primal Hunter in hand, I'm very surprised that he was willing to lose the 5-3. I suppose he does have an Angel of Serenity, which I've missed, so that may be
he's going to be on the Garruk clan here?
Yeah, probably Garruk Primal Hunter. The problem is that, yeah, and the cavern is set on Angel. The Garruk may get attacked down to a point here.
Right, because Clark also has that Pillar of Flame.
Right. That's fine. Garrick's really powerful, but Angel's probably the more powerful card here. It's close.
But if Clark wants to go in 2 points with the Pillar of Flame, 3 attackers, 2 gets through, he's going to lose his Huntmaster if he wants to do that. He may have to use his Dreadbore here aggressively.
Remember, Dreadbore able to kill a Planeswalker. And I mean, I think that play, to me, in my mind at least, has to happen. And I'm wondering if Clark's forgetting.
Yeah, I just forgot too, quite frankly.
That you can Dreadbore a Planeswalker. I mean, yeah.
I mean, 90% of the time it kills creatures, so...
Right. And if Patrick can hit a 7th land here, this is going to be very hard for Clark to come back from. Well, not very. I guess he'd need an Olivia. It'd be Olivia or bust. And there is land 7. It will be probably set to something else. I'm not sure what it needs to be set to. I mean, probably nothing. First one is on Angel.
Looks like he named something else because they were just kind of pointing and he just separated them.
All right.
But regardless, he plays the Angel of Serenity.
It's set to Dragon. Okay, yeah, that's probably a good play. His own Thragtusk and both Huntmasters.
He's gonna make another beast.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure why the Garruk is still around.
Well, it's got to be just because he forgot of.
But I mean that's gonna be I suppose I'm not sure, but like that's gonna be pretty relevant. Yep, and a correct double block there. Clark's gonna hopefully Clark can see the play. Otherwise, he's gonna if Patrick can get to draw 5 off the Angel with Garruk in play. I would say that I don't know if Clark can come back from that board.
Yeah. Read your cards, Clark. Read your cards. He's tapping for... No, he Dreadbore's the Angel.
Dreadbore's the Angel, so no, yeah. He's not catching that.
It's kind of odd because he's got the ultimate price, too.
Well, I mean, ultimate price is an instant. If you don't remember that can kill a Planeswalker, I think that's definitely the correct way to play. Dreadbore's a sorcery. It's the worst card.
So now the Garruk continues to churn. Churn out 3/3 beasts. All Clark Williamson has is a 2/2 wolf token.
Right, and there is no Kessig Wolf Run in play yet, so he can't do the Wolf Run and draw combo. But another beast by a Garruk.
He's probably going to play out the Thragtusk that he got back with the Angel of Serenity.
So Clark's going to need to find an Olivia Voldaren very quickly. I think at this point that may be the only card that matters, that still saves him. Draw from Clark Williamson, it's another Dreadbore. And if that Garruk gets to draw 5, that's going to be very strong.
Clark's got 2 Huntmasters in his hand, which he got back from the Angel of Serenity. And he plays one of them back out.
Clark Williamson goes up to 28.
Go for probably a Dreadbore on the Thragtusk. He says go, so I think what he's doing is he's baiting Patrick into using Garrick to draw cards, and he's going to ultimate price the Thragtusk in response. No, he lets him draw 5. Patrick's also drawn his Kessig Wolf Run, so now he can just really power through a lot of damage.
Yeah. Yeah, so Kessig, well yeah.
Thragtusk attacks.
The game's pretty, as long as, so, from Patrick's point of view, I think what you need to do here is you need to keep in your hand an answer to Olivia Voldaren. So whether it's an Angel of Serenity or a Celestia Charm, you just need to make sure that you don't lose to that card. It's really the only card you're scared of out of Clark's deck from this board. So, I don't know if he's, I think he's drawn one of the two.
Shang Lo on Twitter saying Clark should have just set go and flipped the Huntmaster and hit the Planeswalker for main 2.
Respond on that one. That was the same turn where Clark had pillared the Garrick.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was thinking as well, that he could only get 2 damage in either way. And of course, Clark, like myself, forgetting that Dreadbore can take out Planeswalkers has been very relevant here.
Yeah, Garrick has made now 3 beasts and drawn 5 cards. With the Dreadbore, it would have only made 1 beast. So, and that's been a game changer.
And it's still on the board, still threatening to do more. And Clark has really wasted a lot of energy killing off all these creatures. Meanwhile, an army of beasts building up and Thragtusks. He's putting up a good fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good fight, but yeah, I think there's too much on Patrick's side now.
Yeah, there's certainly too many creatures. The Kessig Wolf Run.
Yeah, Wolf Run becomes, in Thragtusk wars, Wolf Run becomes very important. Remember, if Patrick doesn't have an answer to a potential Olivia, Clark does still have a chance here.
And that's what I love about trumps like Olivia.
Your opponent can draw 5. If they're not the right 5, you still can win.
I think it was the Players' Championship where Yuya Watanabe had a singleton Olivia against Shota Yasuoka, and one game, like, that card single-handedly won the game. So a bunch of blocks being made, a Restoration Angel. So I think what's going on here is Patrick's going to go to 40, restoing his Thragtusk. The other Thragtusk trades for 2 Wolf tokens. And he's going to get 2 additional beasts, one off the Thragtusk that died and one off the one that got Restoration Angeled. Another one? I guess Garrick, activating Garrick.
And just a huge army for Patrick Shifflett.
An army of beasts.
What other army would Garrick have?
An army of cats?
If it was an army, he makes worms, right?
Ah, yeah, worms. 6/6 worms equal to the lands you control. Clark really needed a bonfire, a miracle bonfire there. He's got a full grip, but it's just this attrition war not favoring him currently.
Players, we just need one more person to launch the first booster draft of the day. Come on, it's more fun when you start before the main event. One more person for a booster draft.
He's thinking over his plays, he's counting the damage.
And another Thragtusk.
Goes with the Thragtusk.
So, yeah, both players' life totals, you know, just really, really high, but Shifflett with all the cards. And it's Garruk that's won this game.
There's never been as uncomfortable a 27 life as Clark Williamson is at right now.
Right. On top of that, Patrick plays bonfires in his deck. There's, I think he just has everything going for him right now. He's gonna he's gonna make a Resto Angel again, go to 45, make another beast.
So end of turn, Restoration Angel. He's just going for it. I think he's just gonna turn them all sideways and do what I say he should do. Say, are you dead yet?
Right. Clark Williamson does have one bonfire main, one bonfire board, so Clark has a couple of draws that will turn this around.
Do it. Turn them all sideways.
I don't think
Attaboy.
I don't think Olivia's even doesn't stop it anymore. There's
no,
he
needs the bonfire into Olivia.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3,
So
4,
he's gonna
5,
take 18.
6 unblocked, 3 powers.
18. If he wolf runs, he can wolf run for an additional 8 damage. So that will bring us to 26. He's 1 short of lethal. Well,
Additional
actually,
10 damage?
Actually, sorry, if he wolf runs Thragtusk, that is lethal. It's 18 from the unblocked creatures, and the Kessig Wolf Run would give +8/+0 and trample, so additional 10 off the Thragtusk. Yeah, that would be a 28 damage. So Patrick, with the right Wolf Run play, does have him dead again.
Now it's time to do the math. No. They say
the
let's...
second match in a row where we've seen someone not count their Wolf Run. I mean, it's fine. Patrick will very easily win on the next turn, but he had him dead that turn.
I have a Miracle Bonfire here.
Yes, there's a Miracle. Oh, yes, he's given the out of Miracle Bonfire redirect damage at Garrick.
Yeah, Garrick looks like is at 3 loyalty. And giving your opponent outs here. Let's see it. Let's see the miracle.
All right.
If Clark Williamson does this, it could be one of the great comebacks in the Open Series history.
There'd be some poetic justice in Shifflett after winning the semis off his opponent not counting a wolf run.
He puts it in his head. It's a red card, but it's Pillar of Flame.
So it looks like the miracle, miracle not happened.
It wasn't there, and Patrick Shifflett takes it 2-1.
Yeah. Patrick Shifflett is your Star City Games Standard Open champion in Baltimore.